the most iconic hike in Torres del Paine. Towering over a pristine alpine lake lies the crown jewel of the national park. Las Torres, or the Towers, are three mesmerizing granite rock towers that jut straight into the sky, making this hike the most popular in all of Torres del Paine. However, the journey to get here isn't a walk in the park. With over 20 kilometers of distance and 900 meters in elevation gain, it can take roughly 7 to 10 hours to complete, depending on your fitness level. In this video, we'll go through our entire hiking journey from start to finish, providing tips along the way. Let's begin our journey by reaching the trailhead before the sun is even up. Good morning from Torres del Paine. We're going to be embarking on the most popular and iconic hike of the entire national park and also the park's namesake. We're going to be hiking to Mirador Las Torres.
A lot of people will do this trek as part of the W circuit, which is a multi-day backpacking trip. But you can also do it as part of a day hike. Now it is longer at an estimated 8 hours round trip, which is why we are starting bright and early at about 6 in the morning. While it is early though, the advantage right now is that we have the trails pretty much all to ourselves. It's just the two of us. It's so nice and quiet, and the light is hitting the mountains perfectly. We're actually staying in the town of Puerto Natales, which is the nearest larger town that you can stay in before heading over to Torres. But because of it, it's a solid 2-hour drive to get over here. So we literally woke up at 3:30 in the morning, left at 4. You see these hotels behind me? And right there is the mountain that you're gonna be climbing. So can't say that I'm not a little bit jealous of everyone staying here, but I think the prices during high season run over $1,000. So yeah, save a little bit of money by staying far away.
Do you hear that, guys? The sound of absolutely nothing except for my feet crunching the ground and maybe some birds chirping in the background. And that's because there's absolutely no wind today, which we're so appreciative of. We did this exact same trail from the Welcome Center trailhead, but towards Lake Nordenskjöld a couple of days ago. And the wind was one of the worst experiences we've ever had on a hike. And that's because in Patagonia, the summertime is the worst season for wind. So today is actually such a miracle. So far, so good.
This bridge is super interesting. There's a 2-person capacity maximum while crossing the bridge. So if you're coming here a little bit later during the day, usually this spot can actually bottleneck where people are literally waiting in line to cross this bridge. And I should totally get though, who in their right minds wants to start a hike at 6 in the morning? Not many people like us though. This trail honestly isn't super difficult to follow. You just gotta watch out for these yellow markers that will indicate which direction you need to go in. Because sometimes there may seem like there's more than one trail because one might be for horses. Just as long as you follow those markers, you're good to go.
There isn't too much going on this trail, especially in terms of views. And the path itself is very rocky. There's lots of loose rock. So it's not like that much fun to walk on. A lot of people do recommend that you bring hiking poles with you. So if you didn't bring any with you along this trip, you can also rent them in town and most of the time at your accommodation.
Throughout our time here in Patagonia, we've been met with wind and cold to the point we had to wear a puffer jacket. But today, we're literally hiking in our t-shirts. There's not a single cloud in the sky to shield us from the sun. It is so hot. Pretty sure you can see all this sweat marks on me. Don't get me wrong, still so grateful there's no wind. But wow, it is hot today. We're a little over the halfway point on this trek and we just passed Camp Chileno. If you managed to book super early and got a spot there, you could actually see Las Torres for sunrise. Can you just imagine that warm alpine glow over the three towers? Oh, what a lucky bunch.
What a lucky bunch.
Lucky. I also didn't realize just how cool those tents look, how they're like lifted above the ground like that. I was like, one day we gotta go and experience that and come see this for sunrise.
We're noticing that the first half of the hike was all of that exposed trail with a bunch of loose rock. Definitely not my forte. But after Chileno, this whole section is shaded. We're amongst the trees and the trail is a lot easier for us to walk on. What's nice is that the creek is on our right, so we definitely have a little bit more of a breeze as well versus at the beginning where it's just so hot.
This forested trail is definitely so nice to walk along. It gives a nice little break before the final section, which is by far the hardest. Now the trail kind of breaks down like this. The first 3 kilometers takes 2 hours to complete. The next 3 kilometers, which is where we are walking on right now, takes only an hour for all 3 kilometers. And the final part, for just 1 kilometer, it takes a full hour because of how steep it is, and there's gonna be a bit of scrambling at the end. So right now, we're just enjoying this trail, resting up our legs before that final treacherous section.
We're just a kilometer away from the base of the towers. This is the last stretch. It's gonna be the steepest, and there's gonna be some scramble sections, which means that you may have to use your hands. Hiking poles would definitely be useful over here. We're almost there, just 1 hour to go. We accidentally went up in that direction, up the scrambling path, because this post was broken off. We did not see it. But if you look a little bit further where Jason is, you can kind of see the arrow.
We're in the home stretch now, finally. You can see Las Torres right over there, but there's not the lake yet. So we're gonna have to go all the way in, get to the bottom, and that's where we're gonna get the best view of Las Torres.
We made it to Mirador Las Torres, and the 3 towers are looking so majestic right now. I can see why the national park is named after them because they're so iconic. And that glacial lake that sits at the base is just shimmering in the sunlight, and that turquoise color is just popping right out. We definitely can see it's getting really busy right now, and I can see why, because it's such a beautiful day to be out here. And there's one spot in particular that everybody is flocking to for photos, including us, and that's that rock that sits right on the lake shore. We're so glad that we made it up here, and we're gonna be spending a little bit more time just soaking it in.